Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells. I'm a board-certified sleep medicine physician and CPAP expert. CPAP machines can reduce the symptoms of sleep apnea and definitely improve the quality of life for people who are able to use this treatment. Despite the effectiveness of CPAP therapy, some people don't use it regularly because of side effects and problems. So let's talk about the top 10 problems I see in my practice and how I help people overcome them. First off, anxiety and claustrophobia. This is a problem even before you start treatment. You're anticipating the feeling of mask on your face or the pressure, and it causes a sensation of anxiety, which is incompatible with sleep, or some people feel claustrophobic, that they're not even able to tolerate the mask on their face. A good tip that I give is practice using the mask during the daytime when there's no pressure to sleep. You may even have to start out just holding the mask without the headgear and placing it up to your face. Progress to having the headgear on and finally having the pressure on. What this does is it helps to teach your brain that the CPAP mask is okay. As you acclimate to it, you'll be more apt to sleep with it throughout the night. The second problem is dry mouth. This is one of the most common problems I see with CPAP users, and it can be fixed with just a few adjustments. First off, your humidity setting needs to be programmed into your machine, but it is adjustable if the setting isn't working for you. Check your machine or the company that gave you the machine to figure out how to increase the humidity setting if you're having dry mouth. If you're using a mask that goes over your nose or up to your nose, a dry mouth is a signal that the air is escaping through your mouth. When that happens, you should consider changing to a different type of mask to get the full therapy. For dry mouth, you can also use a product for oral lubrication. One example is called Biotene, and it comes in several different forms: mouthwash, toothpaste, or oral gel. Another issue with dryness is in the nose. This can cause discomfort and even swelling if your nose is dry. Swelling of your nose prevents nasal breathing, and this is something I feel strongly about because nasal breathing is best. It's more comfortable to breathe through your nose, and it's more comfortable to use CPAP if you have nasal breathing. It's better from a physiologic standpoint, and it helps to stimulate your immune system and release a chemical called nitric oxide, which helps your blood vessels dilate. Research studies have shown that nasal breathing improves the comfort and the adherence if CPAP pressure is delivered through the nose. To promote nasal breathing, you might try placing mouth tape across your lips, and you want to use medical grade tape meant for human skin. No duct tape, no electrical tape here. Human skin is delicate and you need to use medical grade tape. If you do mouth taping, use it during the day so that you can make sure you tolerate it and fold down a corner of the tape in case you have to take it off urgently. Moving on to the next problem, dry eyes. First off, you want to confirm that you're not having leakage from the mask into your eyes. That air can be really irritating and dry out the surface of your eyeball. If this is happening, you want to take steps to improve the seal. If you still tend to have dry eyes at night, use an eye ointment or an eye gel. These are thicker preparations that can provide that eye lubrication during the night, and this will help you to sleep more comfortably. Next, Araphagia. Oh man, this is a really uncomfortable condition where you're swallowing air into your stomach. Not only does it cause bloating and abdominal distension, but in the morning you can have belching and flatulence, and nobody wants that. New CPAP users may benefit from having their air pressure lowered until they can acclimate and then work back up to the pressure that is therapeutic. There's something new on the market called a VCOM device, and this may also help CPAP users by reducing the inhaled pressure a bit. This has been shown to also reduce araphagia. Skin irritation commonly comes with the mask, where the mask touches your face in the front, or where the headgear rubs against your scalp or the back of the neck. A poorly fitting mask or a dirty mask, these are culprits for skin irritation. You should never be developing sores or lesions as a result of your CPAP mask. So this is a red flag that something needs to change. Be sure it's not too tight, and be sure you have a regular cleaning routine to keep your mask clean and wipe off the surface so you're removing particulate matter, including dead skin cells, oils, pet dander, or allergens in the air. You can also try a cloth mask liner. This is a piece of cotton that fits in between your skin and the mask. It provides some degree of cushion and can also add comfort if you don't like the feeling of the mask slipping on your face. The next issue I want to address is air leak from the mask. This is very common with CPAP masks, and everyone will experience air leak at some point. Oftentimes, air leak is also related to a dirty mask or a mask that is too old or fits poorly. So take care to fit your mask appropriately, and you may decide to switch your mask type if you need a better fit. Again, a regular cleaning routine will help remove all those old skin cells and dirt and debris from the surface of your mask, which cuts back on air leak because then it will create a better seal. Some people experience rainout, and this is a problem when there's a big temperature difference between the temperature in the room and your humidity setting, which warms and humidifies the air traveling from your machine to your mask. So there's vapor that sort of rises above the surface of the air in the humidifier chamber, and then as the air pressure blows over, it's carried up to your CPAP mask. But as that warm air travels through the tubing, it cools, and then the water droplets fall out of the colder air and collect in the folds of your tube. This creates a knocking sound or a gurgling sound that can wake you from sleep. What you want to do is turn back the humidification a bit and look for that sweet spot where you're still getting the moisture in the air, but not so much rainout. You can also make tube adjustments, like using a cover or a tube cozy, or you can switch to a heated tube if your machine is compatible. Then there's pain. Pain may come on the bridge of your nose, on your upper lip, or on your lower jaw. This is often from a mask that fits too tightly. Now, the mask is meant to fit like a firm kiss from your lover. It's not meant to be cinched down on your face, and you shouldn't have friction that causes pain or pressure. If you are having to tighten your mask to avoid a leak, you should consider that your mask may be too old or just not a good fit anymore. And some people benefit from alternating their mask type from one night to the next. Finally, I want to address something that is super common among CPAP users, and that's lack of consistent use of their machine or not using their machine through their entire sleep period. When you don't use your CPAP, you have sleep apnea, and you're missing out on all the healthy benefits of sleep. In fact, if you're only using your CPAP for the first 4 hours of the night, you're missing treatment during REM sleep or dream sleep, which is more common in the second half of the night. Dream sleep has so many important functions, so it's really important to cover that sleep phase so you get all the benefits of CPAP. Throughout this video, I've mentioned the importance of both having a clean mask and a properly fitting mask. And we have a couple of video resources about that right here. Remember, CPAP is the gold standard treatment for sleep apnea. And it's important that you address any of these concerns so that you're getting the most effective treatment each and every night. Thanks for watching, and I'm cheering you on.